Hi guys, welcome to this better decision making module. This module is inspired from a book, Yes No, A Way to Make Better Decisions by Spencer Johnson. An amazing book, it's a very small book. See if you can get a copy of it. Let's go further into the module. So let's look at first the decision making process. First, define an issue, get the facts about it, brainstorm possible solutions, considers pros and cons, select the best option, sell your decision to others if others are involved, and finally implement the decision. Now, if you really look at it, the process of problem solving and the process of decision making is very similar. What is the difference in that case? Those who have gone through my problem solving session, you would have seen that the process defined is pretty much similar. Then what's the difference? Okay, any idea? If you have any idea, type your comments in the comment box below. Here's the difference according to me. In problem solving, I have multiple alternatives to choose from, because that's what we do in problem solving. I create multiple possible opportunities for the problem at hand. Okay, but in decision making, I have to choose only from two alternatives, either yes or no. Maybe is not an option in decision making, right? So that's the biggest difference between problem solving and decision making. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same. Let us have a few points to ponder upon before we go into the process of decision making. In any moment of decision, the best thing that you can do is do the right thing. The next best that you can do is the wrong thing. And the worst thing is that you can't do anything. You don't do nothing. I mean, get it right. It's better to take wrong decisions than not take decisions at all. Procrastination comes because we don't take a decision. If you want to beat procrastination, take decisions on time. Simple. Okay? It's okay to take a wrong decision, then not take a decision. And by the way, this is made by Theodore Roosevelt long time back. Let's learn to make beautiful. Here we are learning to make better decisions. Okay? We're not. It's not correcting the wrong decisions. It's how to make better decisions. Now, I'm going to make a bold statement saying that a decision is always made. Not taking a decision is also a decision that you have made. So the decision is always made. Why I am saying this? Why do we not take decisions? Let us question ourselves as to why human beings don't take decisions. Simply because we are afraid of consequences in life. Everything has a consequence. If I do something, if I take action on the decision that I have taken, there are consequences to face. And if I don't take that action, if I don't decide at that point, even then there are some consequences to face. So at any point of time, I still have to face consequences. Because we are afraid to face consequences, we don't take decisions. Now, if that's true, then I think so, decision making is more about managing risk. Okay? And once I say this, the question how will come in your mind? How do I manage my risk? Well, let me take you now into a situation. I want you to mentally go back into your life and think about a situation where you are at risk. Okay? And tell me, what is the first thought that came into your mind the moment you were in a position of risk? Tell me whether this was the first thought. What is the worst thing that can happen? I bet you will agree with me that this is the first thought that comes to our mind. What's the worst thing that can happen? And because of that worst thing that can happen comes to our mind, our brain goes into a freeze mode. We cannot think clear. We don't think, in fact. We stop thinking and further everything is at a standstill. So next time when you are in a situation when you are at risk, I want you to consider this. What is likely to happen? Ask yourself, what is likely to happen? Take a pause, ask this question, what is likely to happen? Come to a conclusion, what is likely to happen? Also ask, what is the best thing that can happen? Well, if it happens, that's great, that's what we want. But have you all noticed that in any situation, if the best happens, great, nothing like it. But typically the best doesn't happen, the worst doesn't happen. It is something that is in between that happens, and that's what that likely to happen is all about. Now here, once you ask these three questions to yourself, what is the worst thing, what is likely, and what is the best thing that can happen, then take this statement. If what happens, what is likely to happen, takes me closer to my goal, and if I am willing to face the consequences of the worst thing that can happen, then it is worth taking a risk at that point of time. Isn't it? So simple, isn't it? So next time you are in a risk situation, make this choice. So decision making is about the gap, bridging the gap between the choices and the consequences that you have to make. The lesser the gap, the better it is for you. Now, as human beings, we have this innate desire to always make the best decision. We'll wait. In fact, many times we procrastinate because we, no, this is not the right thing to do. Let me wait for the best decision. There is something better than that. Yeah. But I'm saying that it's not really required. We only need to make better decisions. And that's what we are here for, isn't it? Do you agree that there are places where you can make better decisions than whatever you have? You already are making decisions. So I'm not teaching you how to take a decision, but I'm going to teach you how to make better decisions in life. And it is one of the most powerful tools that I have seen. In fact, I feel that decision making is directly proportional to the success that you get in your life. I have tried to study a lot of people and corporations, and many successful corporations and people have this innate quality of making decisions fast. Whether they are good decisions or bad decisions, it doesn't matter, but they do make decisions fast. So let us learn to make decisions fast, and here learn to make it better. Okay, have you ever experienced this in life? Okay, so something happens, and for that something happens, there is a learning. For everything that happens in our life, there is a learning. Now, we are human beings, we don't typically take the learning in the first time. Have you all ever noticed that if you don't take this learning in the first go itself, the same thing but at a bigger scale, a similar situation lands up in your life with a bigger experience. Obviously, the experience is much nastier than the first one. If you don't take it at that time, the same experience becomes bigger. The learning is going to remain the same. So isn't it smart to try and take, not to try, isn't it smart to take the learning in the first place itself? Okay? So it's better to take a decision and face the consequences than to wait for having larger experiences